All right, so this is day 2 of me blogging, trying to be consistent. 100 days of me vlogging, talking about different things about health, fitness, and filmmaking. So first, yesterday I talked about, or in my intro video, I talked about autoimmune issues that I had. So asthma, Graves' disease, type 1 diabetes, and how they're all in remission, except for asthma. Like asthma still exists in my life, but the Graves' disease, they don't detect that at all anymore. I had a huge lump in my neck that was like the size of a grapefruit. It's gone. But now, type 1 diabetes, how did that come about? I used to have a detector on my body. It's called a Dexcom. That is off, and because my insurance wouldn't cover it, because they said my A1C levels were too good. And then after that, they gave me another way to monitor it and put me on metformin, took me off metformin. Insurance denied that because of my A1C, put me on Januvia, took me off of Januvia, said it doesn't make sense for me to take that. Try to give me Ozempic, but we've been seeing what's going on with Ozempic. What's Macy Gray in the hospital right now? Like, because of Ozempic, so no to that. And then now I go to the doctor and they're like, yeah, you're type 1 because of the antibodies, because of your relatives and so on and so forth, but they can't really detect it. I'm really with like close to pre-diabetic area because of my A1C. So technically I'll tell you how I got that number down. When I found out, it was because I had to have ACL surgery on my right leg. When I had this surgery, well, before getting the surgery, they said you need to see an internist before we do anything, cut you open, we need to make sure you're good. And thank God they do that because that's how I found out. So I went to an internist and they checked my blood, and then I went to my primary doctor, which I had to get because I had no doctors out here in California. And I did all that and they checked my blood and they asked me, they said, hey, your blood levels is a little off. Can you find out from some relatives what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. And so from there, like, I literally like called my relatives, and black people, we gotta do a little better with this, because like I didn't even know so many people in my family was diabetic, let alone had fibroids and a few other things and more thyroid issues. We don't talk about this stuff at the dinner table, or at least at the holiday connections, like, yo, you got this, you got that, let's figure this shit out, let's watch how we doing cookouts. But anyway, I digress. So here I go, they find out that my great grandpa, my aunties, my mama, and my grandma all are diabetic in different ways, type 1 or type 2. And literally, by default, I had enough antibodies in my body to be considered type 1 diabetic. And also my A1C was 7.5 plus. So I went to a nutritionist. They told me to go to a nutritionist and find out more about living diabetic. And that nutritionist told me about all these things, about how it's broken down, the triangle that we all see. And it's like, yeah, you can eat this meat. If you want a Coca-Cola, you can have it, just maybe one Coca-Cola. And I'm like, man, why would I drink a Coca-Cola if I'm diabetic? Ain't that nothing but a can of sugar? And she was like, but people not gonna quit. If you want a pancake, you like pancake, maybe you shouldn't eat a lot of pancakes. And I'm like, I'm sure people can do whatever they want to do if you're diabetic. But for me, to me, diabetic means avoid sugar, period. So what I did was I'm a little bit of an extremist. I went in my house. I got rid of everything that has sugar in it. And you'll be surprised how much sugar is in everything that we have, as far as pasta, cereals, everything that we consume in America, at least, is full of sugar. And so it was very difficult for me to get rid of it. But what I decided to do was, I love fruit. So the fruits that were good, that was full of antioxidants, was basically berries. And they weren't as sweet. So I had nothing but berries. So blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and strawberries. And then if I did eat a banana, I would slice it in half. And I would put half of that on a table, on a plate with some chia seeds or something. And that's how I ate. But when it came to, I'm already pescatarian, it's my diet. So when it came to my diet, it was pretty easy. But what really broke down my diabetes was being outside. Being outside and walking every day. I walked every single day for a minimum of 30 minutes. I hiked. It didn't matter what time it was, if it was first thing in the morning or at night. Walking is so powerful and it's so simple. I don't care how old you are. If you got to walk around the corner, go to the grocery store and just do an extra loop, you will be saving your life right now. And that is the one that did the best because I didn't really change my diet too much because I already ate pretty healthy. It was the walking, to be quite honest with you. And so what walking does, one of the benefits, a few of the benefits are they lower the blood sugar and they make sure that you can use your insulin better, and it relieves stress. Stress was connected to my thyroid issue, and that's a whole nother thing. But even if you walk with someone else, if you can walk with a group, that's even better. Have you heard about blue zones and what's happening with elders in blue zones and how these people was considered they was cancerous and they were going to die tomorrow, and then they live in an extra 10, 20 years because they walking with their homies around the corner? Literally walk outside, go outside. We sit behind the TV and Netflix and chill a little bit too much. So this right here is about being outside. This is stuff that we don't even appreciate. This is abundance. Look at all this. This is abundance and we don't even enjoy it. So I'm out here taking a solo stroll. So today's vlog is about go outside.